Hello everyone, it's Anahita Rao back again. And I wanted to continue with the yoga series. I've got a few more sort of very prominent, common, I want to say prolific type of yogas that come up in a chart. There are, of course, so many of them. I would say near anywhere from 300 to 400 listed in the classics. Normally we focus on sort of a handful of them that tend to be strong in a chart and affect the results of the particular dasha that you're going through. All right, so let's get started. I wanted to discuss Saraswati yoga, which is quite a common one, and depending on the strength of the planets, it will manifest in a big way in your chart. So first of all, let's define what that is. So Saraswati yoga is caused by Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury, all three benefics. All three of them should occupy the position of your lagna, which is of course your ascendant, the 4th house, 5th house, 7th, 9th, or 10th. Either they can be clustered together in these houses or they can be separately occupying them. Now, one thing to note here, this is not something that's mentioned in the classics, but both B.B. Raman and K.N. Rao, very renowned and prolific astrologers, have also mentioned to use house number 11 as part of the Saraswati yoga calculation. Now, what is Saraswati? Saraswati is the goddess, of course, of knowledge, as we know. And she's associated with arts, with poetry, with writing, with speech, with creativity, wisdom, intuition, education, most commonly, and knowledge, as we all know. But she's not only known for academic knowledge. Academic knowledge is the sort of manifestation that we look for in the era that we live in today. But traditionally, the type of knowledge that is referred to and associated with Saraswati is divine knowledge. So that which is essential to achieving moksha or liberation in your lifetime, and also that which leads to self-awareness and self-knowledge. So that's the traditional association with Saraswati being the goddess of knowledge. Now, the thing to remember with this particular yoga is the strength of Jupiter is extremely important here. Because again, Jupiter is the planet that's associated with knowledge and wisdom. So it should be in its own sign, exaltation sign, or a friendly sign. They say that if you have that in your chart, then the person can be famous, learned in all sciences, skilled, wealthy, and blessed with a good spouse and children. The person who's born in Saraswati yoga, besides being a learned, intelligent person, again, depending on the quality of the chart, the overall chart, and how strong these benefics are, it can also become very famous and wealthy during the dasha of one of the planets. So, for example, because it's the three benefics that are manifesting the yoga, so if you're going through the period of Jupiter, Mercury, or Venus, then the results of the yogas can come about at that period. Generally, if you look at the word Saraswati itself, Saras means flow, and Vati means she who has flow. So it's the embodiment of communicating eloquently with creativity, which is why she's associated with communication and writing and speech. Now you can see your D1 chart for the Saraswati yoga, but you can also of course look at Virga charts for yogas and in what area of life they may manifest, and that's something I think that's quite critical to note, because for example, if you're going through let's say you're going through the dasha of your fourth lord, and your fourth lord happens to be Venus. And although Venus is creating this yoga in your chart, but if you look in the D4 Virga chart, Venus is debilitated and not in good shape. And so therefore you perhaps are having difficulty buying a place, or you're having sort of difficult issues with your mother, or any sort of fourth house significations would be affected. So it's important to note that even if the yoga is placed well in your D1 chart, but you're struggling with a specific area of life, then you have to look at the Virga chart for that, and then of course do any kind of remedial measures to fix that. So that's my bit on Saraswati yoga. I hope that you found it helpful. Please subscribe below, and feel free to check out my website, anahitharao.com. Thanks, folks.